Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the Cycle Racing Team set from the Fisher-Price Adventure People line. The Adventure People were first introduced in 1975. The series was made up of sets that included action figures, vehicles, and accessories for a variety of adrenaline-fueled jobs and activities. For example, the 4 original sets released in 1975 were a rescue truck with a fireman, a nurse, a stretcher, and an oxygen tank, a Daredevil sports plane with a pilot, a rescue copter that came with 2 pilots and a raft, and finally the extremely popular 19-piece safari set, which included a Jeep and trailer, pop-up tent, a couple of cages and a fence, a family of 4, and 5 wild animals. The Adventure People were some of the earliest 3 3/4-inch action figures on the market. In fact, they were used as the base figures for many of the prototypes for the Star Wars action figure line by Kenner. The Adventure People toy line ran from 1975 all the way through 1985, a very impressive run for a line of toys that wasn't supported by a movie, TV show, or comic book. They were extremely well constructed compared to other 3 3/4-inch action figures, and in fact, it was much less likely that their heads would snap off or that they would lose a limb when compared to many of their counterparts. As a result, there are a lot of Adventure People still around today, and many of them are still in good shape. Although many popular sets were created for the Adventure People throughout their run, one of the most popular sets and one of my personal favorite sets was the Cycle Racing Team set, number 356. This set was available from 1977 all the way through 1984. The set consisted of 2 motorcycle riders wearing orange shirts with white sleeves and yellow helmets, a motorcycle with a black frame and a brown seat, and a green sidecar. The motorcycle was a dirt bike-style off-road motorcycle. As a kid, I loved this set. Motorcycles were popular in the 1970s, probably thanks in part to Evel Knievel and the many TV shows that featured awesome motorcycle stunts. So this set was often part of my action figure adventures, often teaming up with my other 3 3/4-inch action figures, which usually meant Star Wars. Although as a kid I never realized this, the 2 figures in the Cycle Racing Team set actually had names. Dean was the motorcycle driver, and Vince was the passenger. Both Dean and Vince had the same head and torso, which were both painted the same checkerboard pattern on the chest. The arms were the same as well, white sleeves with orange checkerboard on the shoulder. However, Dean had black hands to represent gloves, while Vince just had flesh-colored hands. Their legs were the big difference. Dean had legs with extra points of articulation at the knees so that he could fit onto the motorcycle more easily, while Vance had straight legs and wouldn't fit onto the motorcycle comfortably. I mean, you could shove him on there, but after you do that too many times, the legs would get all stretched out and wobbly. Dean's legs were orange, while Vince wore brown pants, and they both had black boots. Vince, the passenger, is one of the most common Adventure People out there. This was due in part to the fact that the Cycle Racing Team set was available for 8 years, but he's much more common than Dean, the driver, for 2 reasons. First of all, Dean's knee joints were sturdy, but more likely to break than Vince's straight legs, so more Vince figures survived the rigors of play. And second, although Dean was only available for sale as part of the Cycle Racing Team set, Vince was available both as part of the set and in 2 different single-carded package variations, which were available in the late 70s and early 80s. So more of the Vince figures were manufactured, and the Vince figure had a better chance of survival. There were a couple of variations in this set. First of all, the set was available both in a box and on a blister card. And second, the set was available with 2 different versions of the motorcycle. The differences are minor, but noticeable enough to be worth mentioning. One version of the motorcycle had a yellow and black checkerboard plate on the front of the bike, while the other motorcycle had a plate with the number 356, which was the number for the set. Below the seat, each bike had a silver oval. The bike with the checkerboard front plate had a black lightning bolt on the silver oval, while the other bike had the number 356 again. Also, the bike with the numbers had a silver outline on each side of the green gas tank, while the other bike just had a solid green gas tank. As a side note, the bike with the checkerboard front plate in these photos, as well as the figures and sidecar, were all from my childhood set. While I was taking these pictures, I was actually a little bit surprised that they've all held up as well as they have, considering how much I played with them as a kid. It certainly was a cool set, and part of many childhood adventures for me. Do you collect Fisher-Price Adventure People? Which sets and figures are your favorites? Have you ever owned the Cycle Racing Team set? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up, and it would really help me out if you'd share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell right next to it. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.